Snubs to the rockets. For the love of the chopsticks. Right up from the plug, then I pop shit. Faced with immeasurable odds. Some of you niggas found pleasure in God. Measuring rod, they treasure their jobs. Athletic build, moving with purpose. Tapped in the magnetic fields, moving with serpents. Took my brokers a stroker. Al Roker couldn't predict the storms that follow, the porn that follow. Same a tree, it formed for Rollo. We made it rain and it burnt money. Bentley truck, interior burnt honey. Anyway, I take respect over riches any day. I take neck from your bitches any day. Penny weight, that's a neck full of riches any straight. Shifting through paradigms, the color of Geechee Dan. Drifting through the Carolines, color of the Geechee land. Time will tell. We move around in 33rd parallels, like Coney Island carousels. Fell asleep in Roswell, woke up in Cozumel. Pyramid hopping, chariot shopping. #1 seller, author of conscious fiction. Composition, confidence dripping. Continent drifting, a walking contradiction. With a contradiction. Brooms and mops, Mr. Clean. We conquered the kitchen, facts and fiction. Contrary to popular predictions. Red pill, popping your prescriptions, stopping your addictions. Yeah, bitch, I'm with the hoes. Black magic, yeah, bitch, I'm with the souls. Anything goes, cooking in Brooklyn. Came to push, new strains of the kush. We call that Hussein in the bush. We from distant lands. DNA, different strands, different strains. Same planet, but different planes. Citizen Kane, Rosebud, they wanna get us in chains. Rosewood, the safety, stay off position. Chaos position. Never took the day off the kitchens, way off we pitching. These bitches out here fighting for fashion over, crashing rovers, gassing over 3 times. 3 crimes, Versace from your heyday, on layaway like Takashi and Treyway. Hopping with the AK, the war is on full consciousness, the devil's competence and accomplishments. When rhetoric turns into reasons, the predicates turn into heathens. And the wolves in Connecticut is seasoned. Soon after disease would follow. I'm the same nigga that the D's would follow. Marlowe, my fam grew moving trees like Rollo. Before they seized the Gallardo. From Pablo, hopping out Diablos. Designer robes, dark side of the moon like the China probes. Believe it or not, my mind is on Wrigley's. Believe it or not, my mind on the big leagues. Ice Cube with the big 3. Vine in the big tree. Man on the big B's. Moving back in time like the Frisbees.
Whew. Man, I can't wait for that video. I can't wait for that video to drop. You know what I'm talking about? That is a teaser. That's the first, one of the first singles off of Scorpion King Part 2. We call that Bill Bixby. You dig? Shout out to all of the family in the building. Let's do a roll call before we begin our show tonight. You already know what it is. Talk black to me. All right? Who do we have in the building? Okay? Where we report, first of all, we got Empress B44 in the building reporting from VA. Chicago is in the building. VA is in the building. Philly is in the building. Leesburg, Virginia is in the building. Toledo, Ohio, Jersey is in the building. South Jersey is in the building. VA is in the building. Chicago's in the building. UK is in the building. Kentucky by way of Tennessee. Rio is in the building. BX, New Orleans, North Cackalack, East London. Boston is in the building. OKC is in the building. Illinois is in the building. Boston, New Jersey, Vegas, Maryland, 914, BK, Brooklyn, Atlanta in the building. Dallas, Texas is in the building. Dean Street, Crown Heights. I used to go to Jackie Robinson, so you already know. Greenville, South Carolina, B-More. Oh, you see in the song I say moving through the Carolines. Huh? Wait. Navigating through the paradigms, moving through the Carolines, like Geechee Dan, the Gullah in Geechee land. So shout out to everybody in the Carolines. Louisiana in the building. West Phoenix is in the building. Chemo is in the building. B-More is in the building. San Antonio, Texas. Germany. Salute to Germany. Yo, I gotta talk to my Germans, man. That Bavarian motorsport, that BMW. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about the black Bavarians. We need to talk about that. The Bavarian Roman Church and why they, why they revere the Moors out there so much. Oh, Queensbridge is in the building. Shout out to Queensbridge, Austin, Texas. Dade County, you already know. Alabama. Alabama, Morgan State University. I was actually admitted to Morgan State University in 1991. I was going to be a student at Morgan State University, but at the last minute, I decided not to go. But that's a dope college. I used to go to the homecoming. Salute to Morgan State. All right, Mars by way of NY. You already know. Shit. Salute to Mars. Motor City, Detroit. Inland Empire in Cali. All right, salute. How's everybody doing tonight? All right, show us the jug. I'm drinking water. Denver, nothing special. It's just regular water. It has some activated charcoal in it, but that's about it. Report. Oh, Sirius B is in the building. Salute to Sirius B. I'll be up there soon. All right. Detroit is in the building. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tiff. Classic episode with Father Rich. Go over to Black Magic 363 channel. We did a video last night dealing with we did a video last night dealing with the media censorship. We touched on the Farrakhan controversy with the Amazon and also Facebook by way of Facebook and Instagram amongst other topics, and that was fire. We was going in. If you haven't checked it out, go over to Black Magic 363 and go ahead and dive in because that was some good cloth right there. Yeah, that was a great interview. Yeah, so I was reading the comments. They was like, Brother Rich was slurring. He sounded tired. You got to keep in mind I think it was like midnight. Father Rich he's a father of a newborn, and it's his first child. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't Rich the Kid no more. He's Father Rich. You know, and you know how any first time fathers, I don't even have to explain what it is. His son is not even 6 months, so you already know what his sleep cycle is, right? And he's a stay at home dad. You know what I'm talking about? So the brother takes naps and whatnot. That's real odd for men who don't have children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he takes naps. So he may have been a little bit tired, but look, we had a great conversation. We made some great points. He pointed out that his channel is being persecuted by YouTube currently. They unfortunately they demonetized the brother's whole platform, and what by doing that they're basically telling him that his channel is being monitored, although everybody is aware of the monitoring that takes place by way of these platforms that we're basically on borrowed time participating on. If you ever thought that this is going to be a lifelong marriage and whatnot, if you ever thought that this was Hands Across America, we all going to be holding hand for the next 10 years on YouTube, then you may have or on Instagram, then you may not realize what the future holds. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about the ad apocalypse. I'm excited about the way that they're acting on the internet because at the end of the day, I was getting bored of a lot of shit anyway. I was getting weary of the Instagram scroll. I was getting completely turned off by what Facebook has turned into. And YouTube, my goodness, like, I got to take a bath in holy water before I turn my phone on sometimes. All of the fugaziness and clout chasing and clickbaiting that's taking place in this rest haven for weirdos, sociopaths, and people with IQ. The my foot size is bigger than their IQ. Some of these Negroes. So this is how technology. This is how movements move. This is how computers get to computing. This is how people level up. This is how MySpace was left behind, and then Facebook was charged up, and it was discovered. And later on, Facebook is gonna be left behind, and another platform, and another technology, and another way of doing business is gonna be discovered. Inquiring minds would like to know, what would that be? Well, my solution and my answer to that in the now, I don't want to deal with what we're going to do in 2022. We could do it right now. It's called decentralized platforms. Okay? Decentralized platforms. The live is breaking up. Let me see. Is my Wi-Fi straight? Because if my Wi-Fi is good, then I don't know what to say. But decentralized platforms are the future. Okay? Uh, Decentralized platforms are going to be an alternative, right? An alternative, meaning it's going to be one of the alternatives that you have access to using right now. There are pages and there's platforms that you could get you could get triple what YouTube is offering with that slave wage that they pay out all of their content creators. Has anybody ever seen the charts on YouTube's pay rate, or how they basically count up your streams? It's at the bottom of the totem pole. I think Tidal is at the top when it comes to streaming platforms and how they pay out. The best streaming service in terms of pay is, I believe, is Tidal, and at the very bottom is YouTube. So all of this content that we've been sharing on these platforms for millennia, all right, really since their inception. So theoretically, since the beginning of YouTube, '07, I believe it was the video called Nipplegate with Janet Jackson exposing the areola, right, her nipple, and everybody had to see it, right, about 10 times when Justin Timberlake violated, right, where he could have caught a charge if he was of a darker hue, pulling out titties on stage, right? Imagine if somebody pulled Taylor Swift's tata or her bosom or her rudder out on stage in front of the whole world during the goddamn halftime. Negroes, you know what I mean? Man would get arrested. Like, they wouldn't, they probably chase you down. But anyway, the YouTube basically is on record getting its start. It got its jump start based off of that video going viral, right? So that shows you that these platforms are basically just, like field of dreams. Build it and they will come. The platforms only serve as platforms. But what jumps the platforms off, the same way that the label only is a label until it gets an artist, and the artist jumps the label off, right? The label is the house. The label houses the talent, but the talent is the electrified energy. The talent is the electric charge. The talent is the divine spark that gives life. It breathes life into the husk. The husk would be the label, right? It would be the house. It would be the castle. Like, if there's no king inside of a castle, then what the hell is that castle but an empty castle without a king? That's why my clothing line, Kings County, let's look at the cookie. You see that? The coat of arms, Kings County, people get all bent out of shape. I'm not from Brooklyn, so I can't wear that. Not realizing what this company stands for, that you're a king in any county that you find yourself in. It's not where you from, it's where you're at. So what the hell is a king? What is a castle without its king? So it's not the castle or where your kingdom is doesn't denote the king. there's kings on the run eating. Like kings move around, and your kingdom is wherever your feet rest. Okay? That's your kingdom. You are your kingdom. This is your castle. You know what I'm saying? This is your temple. It's a state of mind. Kings County, wherever your feet is, you could Christian that ground, holy ground. That's how it works. Talk black to me. Let's talk about this Cash App before we even continue. Shout out to Empress B444. Family, give Empress B444. Press 1. Let her know the child in the building and y'all respect what it is that she does every episode religiously. Okay? When you see organization and when you see people show up and they work arduously for a higher cause, we gotta salute them. On this channel, we follow a specific order. And our order is we have a reward system, we have a value system, and we have a penalty system. We have to start somewhere, so we're going to start it over here. I can't speak for nobody else in the world. You feel me? I'm only going to speak for where I rest my hat, or my bandana, or my crown, or my copper crown. Y'all like the copper crown? Y'all see I had to go to the, I had to braid it up, you know what I mean? I want my afro to grow, I want it to grow glorious. So we had to put it up for a minute and braid her up, let it lay down. You know what I'm talking about? Feed it some good oils and stuff so it could do what it do. I appreciate you, Malik Willard, for your 444 Cash App gifting. I salute to you. All right, that's a great number to set it off. This is all numerics, y'all. This is the matrix. This is all a numbers game. Don't be afraid of those zeros and ones. All right. Shout out to the brother Idris Sandu. Today is his birthday. I just watched him deliver a commencement address to MIT black graduates. He's the black Elon Musk. That's a fact. You know what I'm talking about? That's a fact. That brother's on he's on a good path right there. So it's good to see him. I think he's 22 years old, making black history. You know what I'm talking about? Making black history. So, you know, we live in a very precarious time where anything that we want to do, we not only can do it in real time, we could do it in 24 hours. We could do it collectively in 24 hours. That is an MFing fact. You feel me? That is an undeniable fact. That is a Snapple top factory. I mean, talk black to me. Shout out to the hundreds and hundreds of people who are signing up to facts2020.org. We've officially gone live, family. I don't know if you are aware of that, but on Monday's show, Melanin Monday, and also on Father Richard's show last night on Black Magic 363, we announced to the world that facts2020.org is live. And we are .org and not a .com because it's not a community right now. It's an organization. We're organizing in order to rise. So when we organize, then we rise. It's as simple as that. It's only about the organization. And your email is the most simplest tool that you could use to build this brick, this pyramid, this skyscraper, this tower, you know what I mean? This nation, this community, this network that we are out here putting together piece by piece. Food, art, clothing, technology, shelter, finances, arms, coding, trading, strategy. Okay? It has different meanings and whatnot. Firearms. Okay? Art, culture, technology. Okay? Shelter. So many different networks, so many people that are in our network who are talented and skilled and gifted. I was reading a very interesting article earlier that my brother from Mind Glow Media put on Facebook and whatnot, and it was talking about the Instagram and the video vixen. The new name for the video vixen. Remember, we were all in love with video vixens with the King magazine and, you know, Buffy the Body and all of that. You know, talk black to me. Let's not, you know, let's not act like we eating too much soy. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, we could have. You remember the days. So now there's a new form of, you know, desirable woman who sits on the upper echelon of femininity. And it's not the video vixen, it's the Instagram model. Okay? They're running with the bag, right? So the brother put an article out and he was talking about the mental ramifications and the spiritual ramifications of women who put images out there. And if anybody studies any kind of metaphysical or esoteric sciences, you know what they say about the spirit being captured in the picture. So here it goes. You take the beautiful, beautiful picture, because remember, beauty inspires. Beauty, this world, to me, in my humble opinion, this world revolves around many things, and beauty is one of them. So you take this picture and you put it up there. You have thousands or hundreds or maybe even millions of not even men right now, men and women, sending energies towards you of a very strong, lustful nature, right? You're getting a lot of attention. You're secreting a lot of dopamines. There are people who are masturbating, keyword mass, M-A-S-S. And this is some of the writings of our brother Adika Butler. Shout out to Adika Butler and his article and whatnot. He was saying that all of that sexual energy that's being sent to these women, sometimes if it's not channeled correctly, because this is where alchemy and alchemists come into play. If all of that energy is not being channeled directly, you can have an individual who walks her everyday life and she's having all of these different kind of mood swings, and there's all of these inconsistencies, and there's all of these personality disorders and things of that nature. But we have to understand what spiritual attacks are. We have to understand when people are sending out a lot of energy towards you, if it affects you or not. Because remember, they said heart energy, it doesn't obey a time, quote unquote, it doesn't obey the laws of time the way that we've been taught that time exists and whatnot, or doesn't obey what is known as the laws of distance. So you could send heart energy to somebody who's on the other side of this planet, and it can heal them as if they were standing in front of you. Okay? And the heart energy travels faster than the EKG, the mind energy, or the brain waves. The heart waves even travel outside of this atmosphere. Henceforth, why yogis, why even people like MLK, and why a lot of our master teachers and our enlightened ones stress the importance of the love frequency, or the love energy, or what is known as the heart chakra, okay? And the fact of, you know, I spoke about this before, where breathing plays the part, because everything is foundationed in the breathing. There's no, if you don't have your breath under control, if you're not breathing correctly, if you're not utilizing the sacred or the holy breath to tap in, then you might even, what I'm saying might go completely over your head. But to me, in my humble opinion, that's foundation. You know what I mean? We get that started, we get that correctly, we get that centered and whatnot. Then you begin to move forward into these other places. It's the same thing like the Matrix. You become the key holder. Keys open doors. You listen to the lot. You listen to the clips. My good, what's my guy Pusha T? Yeah, keys open doors. So now you get the keys. Shout out to 19 Keys. Hit them up for these crowns. You know what I'm talking about? The year of the keys. So when you get these keys, you begin to open doors. So when people get a control of their breathing, then they get in control of their lower nature, then they get in control of their appetite, then you get in control of your thinking, then you get control of a lot of things. By getting control of these things and mastering these things, then you begin to create the world. In your every breathing and walking step, you understand your involvement and your input in your reality, and then you begin to master it. This is when mastery takes place. This is when mastery takes place. It's not a simple procedure, but it's definitely not difficult. And don't have a divine opposite this aiding and abetting you in the process. Or even if that divine reflection is creating the friction that's needed for you to do what? For you to turn that energy into something, alchemize it or whatever. You know, what's the handle to the Cash App? Phil, Phil, Moreland, Moreland, Moreland. Phil Moreland. That's the Cash App handle. Okay, that might be the name of the next album. To be honest with you, I need niggas to remember that. Okay, we might make a merch line with the Cash App name. Talk black to me. Get on my Mike Jones shit. But yeah, definitely buy the twin CD Scorpio King one. Before you get two, go and get one. You know what I mean? It's still for sale. It's still streaming. Like, it's still a classic. And go and get the twin double album. That's a classic as well. You feel me? That is a classic. That's not me tooting my horn. That's just me hipping you to some shit that go to thetwinpillars.bandcamp.com or go to twinthealbum.com. Or you could go to iTunes and stream it for free. Go to iTunes and put Twin the Album or Twin Pillars, and you'll be able to hear you'll be able to hear it for free, and then you could download it and whatnot and enjoy that. Okay? And look out for some more music videos. And it's music season, so look out for some entertainment to start coming out of this camp and start start being shared and whatnot, because we're in this solar cycle where I was in hibernation for the winter cycle, so now it's time to play. You feel me? Now it's time to get out here and get it shaking. Niggas is like, yo, y'all was making moves in the winter. I'm like, nigga, I was hibernating. What are you talking about? You thought I was moving around? You feel me? I was in a cocoon. I was in seclusion. Those little moves are nothing. Look at, like this summer's gonna be something else. This summer's finna be something else. So, we're just preparing ourselves. We're just breathing. You feel me? We're just being patient, watching a lot of things take place, watching a lot of people play their hands, watching a lot of people put their cards on the table, see how many people are playing the Goofy and the Joker cards. You know, we're just sitting back observing, because sometimes the best thing to do is to observe. You can't be all running around, you know, trying to be the person in front of the camera, trying to always be dancing in the videos and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas always running around, want to be all up in the camera. Thank you, Tyra Protz, for your gifting. That's another 444. Keep it coming. I like that number. That's a magical number to me. You know what I mean? That's my master number. Okay? Let's get them 444s coming. Or let's get that 44 coming. It's the law. We obey it. We obey the law over here. Okay? So, you know, yeah, talk black to me. Talk black. Shout out to Vicky Dillard. That's the homie right there. You know what I'm saying? I gotta put it on record. That's her swag right there. I'm just, the source is being borrowed. Yeah. Vicky, how you doing, sis? Talk black to me. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that real quick. Talk black to me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she does big things over at Fly Nubian Queens. So check her out. She stays on these niggas' necks. She stays, you know what I mean? She stays burning them up with the truth, you know. And she's one of the, and remember, it's a sister on the front lines speaking the truth. You know how rare that is? Do you know how rare that is? That's very rare. Thank you, Belly Mama. Yeah, them 4-4s is coming. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? You know how rare that is? We need that. We need 100 Vicky Dillards. Somebody was complaining the other day that there's 100 women on Fly Nubian Queens that upload every day. And I'm like, shit, you niggas, nobody could please you anymore. Like, what are you looking like? What do you need? Like, how could we help you? Niggas complaining there's not enough women teaching and speaking. Then they get all bent out of shape and they get in a bag when they see women teaching. I don't get it. So shout out to all of those sisters that are over there doing their thing. You know, shout out to all of them. Uh, they putting in work. Anybody that's putting in work, salute to you. Sanford, North Carolina. What's good, North Carolina? Y'all act like y'all don't want the pills in the Carolinas or something. Like, is there an embargo on the pills in the Carolinas? We've been negotiating to get down there for like 8 years, my nigga. What's happening then? You feel me? It was one sister. She was able to bring us out for her birthday. She brought me, Sabir, sister Vanessa G. You know what I'm saying? She brought me, Sabir, Blue Pill, Eileen Bay, and she brought us to Durham. Other than that, a lot of the promoters we need to give some classes on how to promote, yo. I think we need to do some promoter classes on KTL Empowerment or KTL University, a how-to video. Like maybe King Simon could give some courses and workshops. And this is no slight or anything. That is that right there. If you want to talk about, because one day we're gonna do the 44 income streams, right? We're gonna do an upload with 44 income streams. This is part of the facts2020.org initiative. Like I said, we're live, so you're gonna see more of these empowerment. Now we live in a post Nipsey hustle and motivate world. You're gonna get more hustle and motivation. You know what I mean? You're gonna get more victory lap type of videos. You're gonna get more cloth that's gonna speak more to the quote unquote hustler or the grinder or the quote unquote serial entrepreneur and the technopreneurs amongst us, or the the social entrepreneurs amongst us. You're gonna see a lot more of that, okay? Especially those who are subscribed to facts2020.org, because as you can see and as you have realizes, and if you have not noticed, there's a humongous surveillance operation going on right now amongst people who they're trying to deem dangerous, black identity extremists, quote unquote leftists, rebel rousers, whatever these terms they're trying to attribute to the people who are in our community speaking the truth to the falsehoods. So we're not giving out all of the cloth on YouTube. We're not on Instagram every goddamn day trying to, because those platforms own your material. You have to understand your intellectual property are the plans that you speak about. Your intellectual property are the slides that you show. Your intellectual property is maybe even the music that you play on some of these platforms based off of your user agreements. So you have to be very mindful. That's why I'm not big about putting lectures on YouTube. That's why I'm not big about showing none of my slides and whatnot on YouTube. I'm not happy-go-lucky running around trying to share, free uploads of lecture. No, I'll do these streams and whatnot. If they want to wear this cloth, god damn it. Go ahead and run with the cloth. We already got a whole bunch of niggas in the STEAM team running with the cloth. You might as well tag along and be a part of that race. I don't care about this free cloth. But the stuff that I sat down and studied for months on months on months and, all of that shit, we're going to hold on to that. That's intellectual property. That's valuable and it's worth something. Know your worth. Know your value. Know what the fuck. Know what it's going to be worth in a few years. Be able to have the long game down packed. I'm looking past 2020 with this long game. The same way in 2009, I was able to see 2019. I was able to see the long game. And, I'm still here. Nigga, victory lap. I'm still here. Talk black to me. You know what I mean? A nigga legs are still holding up. You know what I'm saying? I'm still on the derby. I'm still riding the horse. I'm little Nas X, nigga. I'm still on the old riding on my horse. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Who heard the Chinese remix? My son be having all of those. He be having any popular song. He always listens to the white people and the Chinese remixes to it, like the Minecraft remix. The shit is hilarious. But that's what's going on. You know, it's it is what it is. It's about foresight, and not only is it about foresight, it's about following, following your divine purpose, living in your purpose, um, being who you say that you are. I'm in my B stage of red pill. You know what I mean? This is my, my duty as red pill. It's in my name. I've broken that down before. So my purpose, I found my purpose already in my first name, Philip, lover of horses. Okay? Philip Phi, Phi, philosopher, philanthropist, philosophical, philosopher's stone, right? Phi Sigma Phi, but Phi going into the golden ratio, right? Phi going into the quote unquote Fibonacci, phi going into pi, that's fire. That's PHI, that's phi, that's fire, that's red. And then LLIP, turn that around, right, looking right back at you, that's PILL. So in there is my name, Red Pill, and my brother's name is Paul. And it's all kind of connotations to what who Paul is and in the Bible and Saul and that stuff, Pablo, all of that. So what have I done to satisfy you know the master teachers who trusted, who was entrusted, you know and who basically were rooting and were very instrumental in even helping to groom one of their students to stand before you and do what needs to be done. I'm a work in progress. There's so much improvement that I feel that I could undergo. But I know for one thing that my ancestors, some of my elders are ancestors, like Dr. Sabi, like Dr. Blair. I just put a picture up, me and him on Instagram, reminiscing on, his impact, reminiscing on how excited I was the first time we booked him on our show to be a guest on Know the Ledge Radio. You know, how excited I was when the brother told us that, when he told me personally how proud he was of the work that we were out there doing. You know what I mean? Like, these are real people to me. These are not just names or video clips or somebody who I could talk down to because I feel that Wikipedia showed me some information that I may feel that can challenge what it is that they brought forward 30 or 40 or 20 years ago. That's the goofiest shit ever. You feel me? Like, I have real relationships with my master teachers. I have real history with a lot of them. And to see where this whole movement is right now, the gifts and the curse, the pros and the cons, the disgraceful position that it is, the disgrace that it's in, along with the glory that you could find it in. You know, the shit, it exists in multiple dimensions at once. You know, Dorothy Muhammad does the name information. Dorothy Muhammad, and she contacted me and Blue Pill a few months ago. So we're gonna do a Zoom with her very soon. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so in the name or in the spirit of our ancestors who are not here to defend themselves, we have to take the role of being vanguards to protect and to secure the legacies of our elders and our master teachers and our quote unquote, our OGs whose shoulders we stand on when we find people from the outside society and even inside of our community and even inside of our society attacking them, disrespecting them, and utilizing, their names to cast doubt and to basically, put them in a realm of conspiracy or to talk down to them, such as the case that we find that keeps resurfacing because I already spoke on it about 2 months ago, and I already touched on it about a month ago, where I was like, yo, niggas need to green light Vlad. How about it? You know what I mean? Who wants to have that conversation? And now I find myself once again having to address the simple fact that we have a certain situation that has reared its ugly head in our culture on numerous occasions. And what is that situation? That's coming to the house, wearing their shoes, and not respecting the goddamn house that they're in. Why? Because you only kept the motherfuckers on the ground floor of the house. They never been in the upper rooms. They don't know what it looks like. They never been in the attic, my nigga. They only fuck with you niggas on the bottom floor. You got this culture vulture Vlad he really fucks with the bottom feeders. He rolls around in the mud with niggas who be on a shitty cuz muddy shit. He interviews best friends who kill each other. He always wants to speak to rappers about not their raps, not their imagination. He wants to get to the gritty shit. He's basically debriefing a bunch of motherfucking criminals on their criminal activity who happen to be rappers. That's where he gets into. That's his form of journalism. It's yellow. Is he has 3 million YouTube subscribers, and we cannot. I don't have I don't have the statistic of his actual blog subscribers because he started out. He has a blog. VladTV.com is his standalone blog, and then he has a YouTube channel with 3.4 million subscribers. Right. The shit that he's out, the goofy shit that this Neanderthal fucking cave, and he really looks like a Sasquatch, right? Nah, I'm dead ass. He really looks like a Neanderthal. And he's a Slav. I believe he's a slave. I believe Vlad, like Vladimir the Impala, I could be wrong, but I believe he's a Slav, right? So he's the original slave. And nobody told him that. You let your distant cousins in the house. You don't sit them down and explain to them who they are in relations to the house. They get to Sasquatching and walking around the house barefoot, stepping on good china, right? They even let him in certain rooms to sleep with the black women because I heard that he's out there with a winch. And then they have the gall and the audacity and the testicular fortitude to talk shit in said house. Now, I got to give a shout out to Lord Jamal for the interview and the way that he was holding himself down in the clip that I just saw that went up, I think, yesterday or today. But it's getting a lot of feedback from the community, and people are seeing, like, dude keeps disrespecting legacies. Like, he seems to have this hard on. He seems to have this agenda. He seems to have this disbelief that he thinks that he could even talk down. Like, he's not even putting respect on the name. Yeah, Lord Jamal looked like he wanted to smack him at some point. When we interviewed Lord Jamal 2 years ago, when we were working with Sarnetta, we were in Staten Island. We specifically asked Lord Jamal about the whole Vlad thing and the history of Vlad and the relationship with Vlad, just for clarity purposes. So I could go on record to say that Lord Jamal and the relationship that he has with Vlad, I approve of that. I'm not one of those people who try to throw the man under the bus and be like, oh, this and this and that. No, it's definitely a tricky relationship. It's definitely, this nigga is Vlad. You're letting Vlad in the house. Who saw Lost Boys? Don't let the vampire, you let the vampire in. So once you let the vampire in, then you're responsible for the vampire. Then he has Godfrey on the channel. But why doesn't he have KT the Arch Degree on the channel? Why doesn't he have Inky on the channel? Why don't he even bring Polite back on the channel if he wants to have a conversation about Dr. Sebi? Why don't he have anybody who was on the court case with Dr. Sebi? If you look at the records, it says Annette Thomas, Ma'a Bowman, and Alfredo Bowman. That's Mama Pill, Sister Ma'a, and Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi's not here to talk about it. There's two people that are here to still talk about it. So how is it that you're going to have conversations about somebody when you are people who are breathing and living on who could be contacted via any social media platform if you want to have a debate, if you want to have a discussion, or if you want to go through history motherfucking lane? It's simple. Not to take anything away from Godfrey or Vlad, but I don't think that at the end of the day, you don't have to answer for Dr. Sebi, Godfrey, and Vlad, and I mean Lord Jamal. You don't have to answer to Vlad about Dr. Sebi. All you have to do is reach out to a person or a persons who have the correct information, have the documents and the receipts, and they could pull up easily and shut that shit down in 2.5 minutes. Shout out to Paula Moore for her gifting on the Cash App. That's all it have. There doesn't have to be no verbal threats. Nobody has to get uptight because at the end of the day, you know, it's either him or Peter Rosenberg or all of these other people who they let inside of the culture whose main job is to uphold the same thing that they're banning Farrakhan from Facebook from. These people, these individuals, their main job is to be watchdogs. Their main job is to steer the culture. Their main job is to feed off of the culture, but their main job is also to establish themselves as voices and connoisseurs of the culture, and that's the shit that's going to be able to carry them. Not right. Remember the long game. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when these people get super duper power positions. Yeah, Liar Cohen, Todd Moskovich, you know what I mean? All of the trillions of Europeans who run around and control the hip hop industry, the whole, not the rap game, the whole industry, the whole industry. So first of all, when are we gonna cancel Vlad? When is Vladimir the pimp gonna get canceled? Third of all, second of all, when are we gonna have our own platforms like our own World Star and our own Vlad TV, so we could stop? These people are so analog and old. You know, the paradigms have shifted, and we're in a whole new age coming into 2020. Like, when are you gonna leave that shit alone? When is World Star gonna get canceled? When is Vlad gonna get canceled? Because Vlad doesn't put out a lot of the derogatory and disgraceful videos like World Star, but the shit that Vlad does is about they're interviewing criminals about criminal activity and masking it like it's a part of our culture. When he's sitting there debriefing, he was talking to another man about how he killed another black man and let that man lay around the couch. I mean, I don't. This wasn't the 20. Well, this was a little bit with the 21 Savage interview, but it was more so the interview that he had with no, what is it, No Plug, when he was talking about killing, when he talked about when he killed Bankroll Fresh? That didn't disturb anybody. Who did that help? Like, who did that help in our culture? How did that help push the culture forward in any way? That made people like at YN Melly and all of these other cloud chasers feel like, you know what? I could stain a nigga and then go on Vlad and talk about it. He let Rollo get up there and indict himself. He allows a whole bunch of people to get up there and indict themselves. He doesn't even censor the material after niggas telling themselves. He throws it right up for the views, and then will hit you with a rewind if if you get arrested or get put in the news, that nigga will put a video up that you did with him 5 years ago where you incriminated yourself. That's what he does. That's what he does. He got the brothers who I found out that Tupac got killed by Baby Lane, Orlando, what was his last name? Or Baby Lane. I found that out on Vlad TV. It took 18 years for niggas to really crack the case, and it was on Vlad TV. Orlando Anderson. I saw that on Vlad, not on Netflix, not on all of them fucking documentaries that they was putting out, because they were saying that he did it, but then they was offering all kind of other things. I saw the Tupac case get solved on Vlad TV, where the brother came forward and was like, everybody in LA knew that he killed them. It was just protocol because while he was alive and while cousin, what's his name, Keefe, while Keefe was alive, we couldn't say anything. And we gonna talk? You think we gonna talk to the police? Nobody's talking to the police, but they came out on Vlad and admitted the whole thing right there. Some people would be like, well, that's great for hip hop. No, nigga, no, it's not. Sue Surf shut him down. Sue Surf shut, and when I saw that episode, I was like, we need to protect Sue Surf. He called Vlad a snitch. He told Vlad he's a confidential informant. He is what is known as a debriefer. He lets you, when a lot of people in that first 48 snitch on telling themselves, the detective sits them down and they debrief them. Okay? Hold on a minute. Let me take this off. So you get debriefed. So what Vlad does, and the way that Vlad sets up the interviews, 7 times out of the 10, he's not even there. He's via TV, right? He's via closed circuit television and whatnot. So Vlad will get you to sit down and he'll begin to debrief you. Yo, I've been watching your Instagram. Whatever your controversy is, whatever your Instagram, whatever the shade room said about you, whatever the rumors are about you, he'll run through all of that like a chatty patty, right? And you know, niggas is they feeling comfortable, they got the big lights on them, and they just open up and tell the whole story about everything. They're not even getting paid for it. They're just doing it for views and whatnot, so Vlad could get them. So here it is. He feels qualified to whereas he could speak about what an African came and did for Africans in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, going all the way up to Dr. Sebi's last day on this planet. He's never considered bringing any other of the multiple healers that we have. I think Dick Gregory might have been on Vlad. I'm not sure. Was he on Vlad? If he was, please let me know. I never seen him bring Queen of Four up there. I never seen him bring Dr. Africa up there. I never seen him bring Dick Gregory. I'm talking about healers because you could bring other conscious teachers on your platform, but when we talking about one of the most detrimental issues in our community, and that's health, you're not allowing or you're not offering what is needed in the form of remedy for people who need to be exposed. You're exposing them to Black Death. You're exposing them to deaf culture. Oh, he was Dick Gregory was on Vlad. He wasn't talking about health though. So you exposing them to deaf culture. You exposing them to gang culture. You exposing them to melanated men killing melanated men. Because certain people don't want me to say black on black crime, and I get it. You don't want to. You don't have a problem exposing, letting Soldier Boy tell the world how he shot all of the intruders that came in his house. It didn't help because they just robbed his house the other day. So that wasn't a Sloman shield. You don't. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. Any disrespected Umar, rubbed it right in his face. There was an issue about Umar. Umar had a falling out. I'll never go black on Vlad. Okay. And oh, Dick Gregory. I don't know if Dick Gregory was on Vlad or if he wasn't. I know that Vlad, with all of his questions, his national inquiring minds want to know. He don't want to know that much. He's not reaching into the community to offer any of the healers or any of the practitioners of what is known as holistic health to come on his platform. I bet you he gonna bring Dr. Oz or somebody on there. He's gonna bring a white boy on his platform to do what? To bring forth the Hegelian dialect that, you know what? I'm questioning everything about Sabi, but here it is. We found somebody who really gets it done. This is my guy, Todd Bertzkovich. You know what I'm saying? From over in the Hasidic community out here healing measles and whatnot. He's the one. You know what I'm talking about? He's the one. He's going to do some shit like that because that's what they do. Okay? That's what they do. As you can already see, they're already trying. This is a specific group of individuals whose families, whose whole identity are tied around Big Pharma, all of them lies that they telling you, vaccines and all of that. All of them Russian Vlad, them, you know what I mean? The people that come from the Caucasus and all of that, all of those doctor types, they're all in bed together. They're all in bed together. He is trying to hold that industry. He's casting doubt on our master teacher because he has a vested interest in that quote unquote pharmaceutical industry that these Europeans have basically Hippocratic oaths, right? They've taken oaths. You don't hear them speaking about anything other than that. Even though on the low, they be running around swagger jacking Eastern medicine, swagger jacking everything that we're doing, and then they want to pop up in Whole Foods and rename or rebrand the shit that we've been doing for millennia. Because it's all about nature, it's all about natural medicine. And if you don't think everybody is headed back in that direction, you're fooling yourself. It's called bait and switch. They got you thinking that they're trying to outlaw the herbs while they pushing you off of the goddamn herb plantation so they could corner that market. That market is more profitable than big pharma if you really think about it. Plant-based diets. We are electrified beings. Everything that Sabi said in his mission protocol, Sabi is in his victory lap phases because his mission statement, what he stood for, has come true, and we're living in that time. So the mission that the sister Ma'a, Mama Pill, Dr. Sabi, Usha, Weewa, The whole family and everybody that was a part of that movement, it was a lot of people, okay, who came. The man was working for 40 plus years, and he was a world traveler. He had offices in multiple states in America and overseas. And Dr. Sebi didn't sit still. He was a navigator. His Moorish blood was taking him all around the world. So he always, and he was a person, he was a very personable man. So he had a lot of connections, a lot of networks, a lot of people that were aiding and assisting him, a lot of people who were down with the cause, especially when the quote unquote, when he was, you know, when he began to go viral, when he began to get picked up by, you know, when the hip hop generation began to be began right around the time of Lisa Left Eye, a lot of the hip hoppers began to become hip to Dr. Sebi. So with Vlad, like, where has Vlad been? That's the question that I would want to ask. How is Vlad just talking about Dr. Sebi in 2019? If Vlad was a part of the culture, Vlad would have known about Dr. Sebi when he was running with Michael Jackson. Where was you then, Vlad? What cave were you in at that point? Because he was running with Michael Jackson. Where were you at when he was working with Eddie Murphy's family? Where were you at when he was working with Danny Glover? If you're such a fucking insider, where were you at when he was with Lisa Left Eye Lopez before she died? Where were you then? He didn't stop teaching. It's the fact that the world is beginning to know about him because the people who be trying to block you from knowing about him, they can't hold back anymore. They're getting weaker. But there's always been a concerted effort by black people, mostly more than white people, to keep Dr. Sebi a secret from the world. That is a fact. That's just not, and he's one of many people that people try their hardest to keep you away from because they don't want you to know about these people. They don't want you to hear their names. They don't want to utter their names. They don't want their names to be repeated. They don't want you to they don't want you to know about their existence. And unfortunately, I witnessed it with my very own brown eyes from a very young age all the way up to this day, that there are people out here baller blocking Dr. Sebi and everybody that's affiliated with him, who are out here doing what it is that they do, and they're still carrying on and living out a godly fucking tradition. Okay? And that tradition is basically you know, going back to a culture, or going back to a way of life, or going back to a way of thinking, and going back to a way of living that we were not living like in the 80s and in the 70s and the 60s and in the 50s and all of these other, you know, and well, I'm not going to go all the way back because there was something, you know, it seems like shit's just something went wrong in the late 1800s because we were on our way. So we're gonna have to, this Vlad thing is not something that we just gonna just let, you know, we're gonna just turn the next page and keep it moving. No, this is means to look up because it's bigger than Vlad. I feel that his whole community is trying to discredit the doc because they trying to usher in their own little fake messiahs. I feel that his community has a vested interest. I think he's being an agent provocateur for Big Pharma. I think that he's being an agent provocateur for Israel. I think that he's being an agent provocateur for, you know, Neanderthals. You feel me? That's what I feel that he's being. And he's utilizing his his card in hip hop, or he's utilizing his rest haven in hip hop to launch these quote unquote propaganda campaigns, and he's being a provocateur. Yeah, he's being a fucking Russian troll too. So he's not something that our culture, he's a cancer to the culture when it all weighs out. Are there positives to Vlad? Of course. But if we put that nigga on the scale, He's gonna be Tip Harris. The shit is gonna over tip, cause it's more negatives than positives when it comes to what he's doing over there. Would I want to go on his show to sell something as a salesman? You know what I mean? He has a marketplace. His platform is a marketplace. World Star Hip Hop is a marketplace. You go in there. If I had these crowns and whatnot, and I go on World Star, give them $7,500 and do a commercial, I'm guaranteed to sell into a whole new genre. I'm guaranteed to break into new markets. I'm guaranteed to pick up a windfall of new customers, especially if I have my SEO and my internet marketing down pat. If I was selling a service, if I was selling a product, anything on Vlad TV, if I wore a t-shirt that was fire on Vlad, chances are that shit will pop off because of the fact that he has a lot of reach. That's the motherfucking carrot right there that nigga dangles for these niggas. Like, that's the carrot. Okay? That's the carrot. There's no other carrot. There goes your carrot. So when you consider going on Vlad, that's the carrot. Okay? There's the carrot. There's nothing else that he provides. He's not cutting a check. He's not breaking you off with some of that YouTube money. He's not giving you some of that ad money. He's saying, nigga, you could get exposure. You could clout chase on the channel. You could get more fame. Because that's you could make some sales, for those who are selling some shit. Some people want to sell tickets. Some people want to sell they want to get their Instagram popping. Some people want to sell their lifestyle. Some people want to push their website. I mean, it's multiple reasons that niggas jump on Vlad and on other platforms to do their 1, 2, 3. But this fixation that he has with discrediting the good doctor, when this motherfucker didn't have a word to say when Dr. Sebi was alive, and when you listen to the rhetoric and his quote unquote, I'm just listening to the tonality. I'm listening to the deep-seated disrespect. I'm listening to the deep-seated disrespect. I'm listening to the ulterior motives. I can hear it in his tone. So I'm like, okay. This is how they playing, huh? You are so used. This is why it's insulting, because primarily what's being said is this. Look, my name is Vlad. I'm inside of the hip hop culture. Your culture's so backwards. Your culture's so niggardly. Your culture's so one-dimensional that I cannot believe and I cannot fathom this shit is keeping me up at night while I play with my bed wench. I cannot fathom that one from amongst you came along and did what it is that they say that they did in the field of medicine, because based off of what my Russian ancestors and my Vladian Pala Jewish ancestors have taught us, you Goyim are nothing but some niggas, and you never contributed anything positive to society, not even hip hop. And I'm here to exploit that. That's what he's saying. He can't wrap his mind around the motherfucking fact that one of us, and when Dr. Sebi came out and said that we cured AIDS, he didn't say I cure AIDS, he said we cured AIDS. So we could go on Vlad TV and we could beat on our chest and we could talk, we could tell the cave Beckys and everybody around us, have a fucking seat. Nigga, we took care of your biological weapon that you created to destroy us. We defeated it. We beat it, nigga. Try again. Have a seat. Have a million seats. You can't tell me nothing. Bring in Little Nas X on a horse. You know what I'm talking about? What are you telling me? That's what Sebi told you to do. He said, hold your head up, beat on your chest, and tell the world that we cured it. If you niggas needed something to jumpstart your motherfucking, your ego or your goddamn confidence, he said you can use that. But when you use it, just know the scientific terms and be able to defend yourself against the slander and be able to defend yourself against the fragility and be able to defend yourself against the inferior complexes that are going to come out the same way that it came out with Robert Abrams. And that's the fact, the reason why they got indicted for that case, because these fragile people cannot stand to see black people say that they can heal something, because it has supposedly, it got burnt out of us, beat out of us, tortured and lynched out of us. Who do you think that they were killing? Nigga, it was the shamans first. It was the juju man. It was the healers that were at the burning at the stake. That's who they were giving it to at first. That's called the Inquisition. Those are the heretics. That's called heresy. You do what, nigga? You cure what, nigga? You're a heretic. Burn them at the stakes. Cut their head off and put it on a pike for everybody to see. You will not act like, if you see this head on a pike, you niggas will not be curing no diseases on your own. You will not be taking the roots from the earth. You will not do all of that witchcraft, because it was making us invincible. It was making us stronger. It was allowing us to shapeshift. It was allowing us to do all kind of things. It was allowing us to withstand all of the germs from the germ-man. That's a fact. That's a fact. So here it goes. Vlad the Impaler, he comes from a people who are genetically always suffering from multiple diseases and multiple ailments and all kind of biological deficiencies and whatnot. We're talking about the Eastern European. We're talking about the quote-unquote Russian Jew. We're talking about the Polak. We're talking about a bunch of those people from that region who are historically known to carry the most inferior genes on the planet. These are germ-mans. These people are husks for all kind of quote-unquote biological warfare, and they are the recessives. They are the Slavs. They were at the bottom of the quote-unquote Ottoman Empire slave ships. They were at the bottom of the Barbary power slave ships. They were at the bottom of the Barbary coast slave ships. They were the quote-unquote Slavs. They were the slaves. There was a motherfucking pussy highway that Arab slave traders were selling European women up and down the motherfucking borders, up and down the Iberian Peninsula. Facts. Clan of the Cave Bear, Quest for Fire. We could go in. We could talk about the Punic Wars. You know what I'm talking about? We could talk about a bunch of things. But what we're not going to do is that we're not going to act like we don't know who the fuck these people are. Okay? So, that man, you don't understand. He can't fathom electric bodies. He can't fathom the biological makeup of an African coming out of the middle of the forest or the jungles of Africa. He can't fathom that. He can't fathom what it takes to make a gorilla in the motherfucking jungle. He can't fathom that. He can't fathom the power of veganism. Thank you, Thailand, for that 444. You understand? He can't fathom that. This is something that he can't fathom. There's a whole bunch of people that are like Vlad out there. We could get at them, but we talking about Vlad right now. It's a bunch of charlatans. It's a bunch of bird-ass platforms and a bunch of bird-ass niggas out there. Agent provocateurs, haters and whatnot. There's a whole bunch of toxic vegans running around. There's a whole bunch of demonic niggas out here in the community with all kind of viruses in their blood and parasites. You see them looking sick, flabby and sick and whatnot. Niggas looking like they got the Ebola virus. How could you resonate to Sabi's message and you niggas Nate with the message of healing and whatnot and what somebody did? How could you niggas sit around and talk about what somebody did 40 years ago? You niggas haven't even healed from a headache. You haven't even cured yourself from a headache. How? How? Like, how could you justify that? These niggas walking around looking like zombies, and you're gonna let them be the moral comp? You're gonna even let them be the platform to try to judge and question what Dr. Sabi didn't fuck with 89% of this community. How? Like, he wasn't on niggas' platforms. You don't have no Sabi interviews on none of these platforms. It was a reason for that. It was a reason for that. He knew who was who. Go and check him out on Know the Ledge Radio, though. He got about 6 classic episodes. You can Google that. Know the Ledge Radio, Dr. Sabi, and go get your catalog up. How, Sway? So the recessives, they're not even qualified. Like, I'm surprised that you're surprised. I will not have a conversation about our dominant culture and the dominant genes of our culture and the healing properties of our electric bodies with a Slovakian. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to entertain no kind of slander from anybody who's just speaking from an emotional standpoint and don't got no motherfucking receipts. You understand? And the reason why they're trying to question somebody who our culture is revering is because they basically don't respect the culture. They basically look down to the culture. They basically feel comfortable and safe even saying that. That's how far we've fallen. That is how, because that would not have occurred 10 years ago. And it definitely wouldn't have occurred 20 years ago. That was a note that would not have occurred. That was a note that would have been a definite no-no. Talk black to me. You know that. You know this is some new millennial shit right here. So the next conscious person that gets invited on Vlad's platform, you know what I mean? You got a duty to the ancestors to cash in that green light, that green dot. You know what I mean? Talk black to that nigga. You feel me? Talk black to him. Make him feel that make him feel that electric body. Make him feel that electricity. Make him feel that melanin activated, my niggas. Whoever you are, whoever he decides to pull up and bring on his soapbox. On site. And if anybody gets up there and starts tap dancing and juggling his balls and braiding his goddamn beard and whatnot, you niggas should be outcasted. But he has to apologize. Because you could say whatever you want to say. Nobody is beyond critique. Anyone could critique. You could critique. Do it respectfully, right? But when that critique or when the questions that you have are answered, or when all of the critiquing and all of the disrespect is somewhat answered and rebutted, then as a man, as a red-blooded man in America, it's your duty to do what? To clean that shit up and to apologize and keep it moving. That's it. That's all we asking. That's how you handle this shit, especially if you're a vlogger and you want the respect of the people and you don't want a mass exodus off of your platform, because that 3.4 million could turn into 1.4 million overnight on Vlad. Shit, they banning Farrakhan. Why we can't ban Vlad? That's what I'm talking about. Reactionaries, nevolutions. You know, people want to complain about what Amazon is banning and what Facebook. Who we gonna ban? Shit, them niggas will get nervous if we ban them. They get more nervous than the Zuckerberg ban. Who we gonna collectively ban? Because we see that this is banning season. Niggas is out here banning niggas. So who you gonna ban? Cause you got the power. You know. You gotta sit around wait for something. Who they gonna ban next, fam? Who they gonna ban next, nigga? Who you gonna ban next? We not even having to talk about jumping off of Facebook. I don't need Facebook. I really, Instagram is growing on me, but I could leave that shit behind today. I got facts2020.org. You feel me? And I got enough web designers on my team and engineers and coders on my team that we can clone Instagram. There's a brother by the name of Colossal. He has an Instagram. I don't have to be on the quote unquote interface. We have Idris Sandu. Let's sit him down, collectively find out what the budget is. If he says 100,000 or 2 million, we go ahead and get crowdfunding equity. We raise the funds and we purchase our own platform and we turn into shareholders and multi-billionaires the same way that we did Facebook in about, what was it, 10 years that the wealth of Facebook got built up. But because we're in the quickening, it's only going to take 2 years. So collectively, meaning what niggas are tired, when not even tired, when you're inspired, because I don't want no tired niggas running with us. You got to be inspired to run this race. This is a motherfucking long run. Okay, this is a spirit. This is a spiritual, a victory lap. This is a long run race. You got to look ahead 10, 20, and 30 years. Let me get more likes. Don't act like the fucking like button is broke. Let me get more likes. Okay, and make sure y'all share this video and subscribe to the channel, and just do whatever, do what needs to be done, and hit the bell and whatnot, so you would be notified when we start doing these motivational videos, these empowerment lives, when we do more of the Facts 2020 lives, when Tough Talk Tuesday with Blue Pill it goes live, when Melanin Monday goes live, and when Third Eye Thursday goes live. You know, make sure y'all support the clothing store, Kings County, Big Cartel. We're gonna have more commercials in the middle of the videos and all of that cute stuff as we move forward. But make sure y'all support Kings County Big Cartel. We got a bunch of new stuff for the spring season. Uh, some very dope designs on the way. Okay. But I'm gonna slow it down, and we're gonna wrap it up on that note tonight. Cause like I said, it's late. I don't want to have grown ass people who got responsibilities and obligations. I don't want to be the reason why you're up and you may be missing, you may be missing or not fulfilling said obligations. You feel me? But we had a great talk. We had a great build tonight. Uh, I'm sure we'll be able to follow up with this build on Monday, or maybe if it's some shit that needs to be talked about before that, Saturday. I'm gonna be in Brooklyn Saturday. If you want to get this bag, make sure that you sign up to facts2020.org, right? If you want to get this bag, and I'm not just saying it to say it, if you want to get this bag, if you want to join a network where people are making big moves, shout out to Rob Redmond for that 444. Salute to you. If you want to link up with power players, if you want to link up with paradigm shifters, if you want to link up with move makers, shot callers, investors, coders, if you want to link up with people who are gifted and skilled and are out here with talent and they're applying it, well, guess what? You'll be able to find that at the facts2020.org. Be a member. It's free to sign up right now. Give me an email. Just leave your email and we'll take it from there. And when I pull up in your city, make sure you pull up. This whole summer, spring, summer, going into 2020, you're going to see us a lot. We're going to be out there real heavy when we pull up in your city. Just make sure that you pull up, man. Show your support. Be there. Listen to what's being said, and take action. Make your next move your best move. Okay, so on Saturday we have the Elevation Empowerment Festival. That's from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Queen of Four, Rain Global, my brother Araje, Fun is gonna be in the building. Brother Red Pillar be in the building. The Hard Body God will be in the building. They even got Chrisette Michelle. She's gonna be there as well. So that's the Elevation Empowerment Festival 511. Okay, that's gonna be in Brooklyn, New York City. All right, Brooklyn, New York City. Hit me on my inbox. I'll send you the flyer on my IG, EL_Filthmore. Hit me on my inbox. I'll hook you up with the flyer. We'll get you some tickets. There's only a few tickets remaining. That is a powerful, powerful line up. You damn right, KTL Radio. That's old school, new school, futuristic information. Don't cheat yourself. Go and tap into those 700 podcasts and download everything. If you on YouTube, download all of my videos. If you on Blog Talk, download all of the shows. This is that time to fill up your terabyte hard drive with the content, not just of me, of your favorite teachers, of your favorite speakers, of your favorite scholars, of the master teachers. Now is the time to preserve that. It's all on you now. It's now, this is open source. The user is in control. This is, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do with it? Don't allow them to take the content and destroy it. Don't allow them to burn our books. Don't allow them to silence the ones who are making the noise. Don't allow them to silence the disruptors. Don't. It's on your shoulders now. I got let me see. I got this hard drive filled up. This is a terabyte. I got another hard drive in a safe, and I got another hard drive for 4 terabytes on the way. So I'm playing my part, and I'm feeling, I'm preserving, I'm saving, I'm downloading. You know what I mean? I'm making sure that I get everything that I need to get. So y'all need to do the same thing. Okay? Preserve, save, catalog, and archive. Okay? Yeah, those are hard drives. Yes. Archive as much as you can. All right? So with that being said, love and light to the family. The Cash App is Phil Moreland. Shout out to Empress B444 before I forget. Love and light to you, sis. I appreciate you.